Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Donuts
Good
with
morning,
Lexus Ice and
official Jamie.
official Jamie. Have you had your uh, c- coffee and your donuts today?
I've had my coffee and my donuts.
Great, because the early word gets the word win.
Always.
We're so happy to be here on today. We're holding it down. Also, Carol, the girl manager, is going to be a co-host today. We're just holding it down for Miss Tabor, who's still not feeling well. You all keep her in your all prayers. Today is Thursday, June the 2nd, 2022, and it's at the top of the hour, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. I can't believe we're already in June. The year is almost out. What we're going to do, we're going to say a prayer, and we're going to get into this topic. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for life. We thank you for health and for strength. Lord, as we continue to live up Miss Table on today, Lord, strengthen her body. Help her in the name of Jesus, Lord. All of our listeners now, subscribers, Lord, just give them what they need. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And today's topic is
Amen.
uh, keep your hands to yourself, domestic violence in a relationship. And we got two other co-hosts that's going to help me break this down. And we all know that, the domestic violence should not be something that, should be a part of a relationship. If domestic violence is going on in a relationship, it's not healthy at all. And it's something that should not take place. I know one of the announcements we do have is that Miss Tabor have now W.T.F with the family. They have their membership going on. It dropped last Friday. Um, See the link, see the description below to join, or just hit the join button to be a part of the Table Squad. There are some great perks, some good accolades for becoming a Table Squad member. Also, Wednesdays are viewers' choice. If you have a choice, if you have a topic that you want us to break down and talk about, it could be anything, like Miss Table always said, we're non-judgmental over here. Just leave us a comment below on in this broadcast, or you can always send it to myself, Lexus ISASMR, over on Instagram, or WTF with the family table over on Instagram, and we'll get the message and we will discuss your hot topic. And today, again, let's see who in the room. Let's see who we have already. Here we have ML, we have official Jamie, y'all. Official Jamie, so I'm here. We have WTF with the family table. She's incognito, y'all, but she is here. We have MLW Fishing Man. We have Life at the Logans. We have Shawanda Williams, who's serving up coffee and donuts, y'all. She got enough for everybody. We also have Miss Dawn. Miss Dawn said, "Good morning, daughters and YouTube friends. My day started off bad, but it's still a good day." That's right, Miss Dawn. Okay, so at this time, we're going to get into this topic. Keep your hands to yourself, domestic violence. So you all can take it away. Hail the girl miniature and official Jamie.
Okay, Jamie, I think you can talk about it. I don't really know about
Well,
this subject.
well, first of all, you definitely should keep your hands to yourself. Um,
Yeah.
I've witnessed some abuse in relationships before. There was a situation. I'm not gonna say what family member, but I was at church one day with this couple, and they were kind of acting weird. Um, she was kind of very meek and like being like quiet at the church service, but the pastor was preaching on something that really resonated with her, and she stood up to, praise God or whatever. And I noticed, right, you know how you have the like the 3/4 sleeve on your shirt,
Yeah.
um
Uh-huh.
right when she stood up and raised her hand, I could see fingerprints on her arm.
Oh wow.
Oh.
And I was compelled to just hug her, and I just started to pray, and I was praying and I'm praying, and she was like, she just started crying and shaking in my arms, and I was like, oh my God, this is really bad. So I didn't want to tell my husband at the time, but I had to because it was his family. So
Okay. She said,
and I
okay.
was just like, "Oh my god," and he didn't see it, but I kind of like held her hands down so other people couldn't see it, but I could see because she's lighter than me, so the handprint that was on her arm was very bright, and you could tell that it happened recently. So she never really talked about it, but I was so angry at the person because I feel like he was being abusive to her because I honestly I believe this person is homosexual and he was taking stuff out on her, to be honest.
Wow.
Let's just be
Oh,
honest.
okay.
And thank God they got a divorce, and she later has married a wonderful man and went on to have a wonderful life without this person. But yeah,
Oh, thank goodness.
I feel like that
Wow.
person is abusive because he's in the closet and he don't want to let these females know that he is in the closet. But that's just my opinion. But at the end of the
Okay.
day, I am very much the person who would go slap off if you put your hands on me.
Exactly. Okay.
Like
Wow.
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
I'm about a lot of things, but you put your hands on me, we going fist to cuffs. I'm telling you, we
Yep.
But
You
you
ain't
know some
kidding.
official Jamia.
yeah,
I've known some of the meanest women
yeah,
that was afraid of their boyfriend or their husband, and they allowed that fighting and hitting, and they stayed in that domestic violence situation. And you would think, wait a minute, no, that person is mean, that person will fight back, but they did not, and they stayed right there. And so I'm thinking, you know, I don't know, and I've never been in a domestic violence situation. Me and MLW on next, I think it's Tuesday, we'll be celebrating our 3rd year anniversary. So, domestic violence has never been a part of our marriage. But from just watching Lifetime, I love Lifetime, and I see a lot of movies that are based on true stories that at the end of the day, the lady is the one that ends up suffering when it comes down to domestic violence because she don't get out of the situation. She continued to stay there, and all of that builds up in her until one day she completely snaps. And when she snaps, she ends up hurting, the man or killing the man, and she ends up in trouble behind it when she just could have just left. But then I also, have watched movies where people that is the aggressive one in the relationship, they have like mind control, and they have like
Yep.
mind control, and they tell them, if you leave, you ain't got nowhere to go. If you leave, you ain't got no money, no one is going to help you.
hmm
And so I have seen movies where the wife could be packed up to leave, and if the husband comes home, it's like she's forced back into the house. So I've never just really understood, why do people stay in abusive relationships, but you have people that just feel like they just have been brainwashed to, if I get out, I have no help. I'm on my own.
yeah. The manipulation is very real, and unfortunately, a lot of people who are abused get groomed for this in the beginning. They start out being catered to, they're super sweet, and they have those moments where they snap and they might grab you, and then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I won't do that again. But they ease you into it. Some people are just straight up abusive. And we're not gonna say that women can't be abusive too, because
Oh
I've
yeah.
I've
Oh
definitely
yeah.
I've definitely heard some
Right.
stories.
Yes. Yes. It's some women. What do they call them? Butcher Knife Annie's. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's some women out there that are just as more aggressive. And I
Yes.
remember one time I was at church and we were at this conference, and so it was a lot of women getting up telling their testimony of how they overcame domestic violence and how
hmm
God removed them out of that situation. And at the end of this conference, this pastor, he got up, he said, hold up, I got one thing to say. He said, I heard a lot of women get up and testify about domestic violence, but he said, this is coming from a man. He said, I was in a situation where I was beaten. He was beaten. He was, his wife was the aggressive one, and
Oh,
he
wow.
took the beatings. Yeah. And he was like, so men are caught up in situations, because some men are taught don't hit back,
Yeah.
don't fight.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fight women, don't fight ladies. So they will sit there and they will allow their partner to slap them and hit them and don't do anything because they have been taught you don't hit ladies. Life at the Logans is saying, yes, I watched my mom get abused and it taught my brother and I both not to get abused or be the abuser. And also, Sonia's Home Crafting is in the building. Sweet Recess, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Yes, so
Yeah.
there are situations where men is abused.
You know,
absolutely.
yeah. I wanted to say something about that. So I do know about that part. So I know in my family, my brother, he had a wife, and she had seen her mom being abused her whole life. And so when she and my brother met, he would come home from work and she would be so angry, and I was like, what is wrong with her? And she would just get up and grab him, anything. Now, y'all, one day she grabbed him in the backyard, because I used to own a candy store, and so people would come up and buy candy and all this stuff. But anyway, so his friend had came. My brother's in a band, and so his friend had came to pick him up. He said, such and such is coming to pick me up, and she was like, "Oh, you think you finna go out and see some girls?" And he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He said, I'm going to the band." And so she grabbed him and slapped him in his face in
Oh,
front of everybody outside. So it was all our
Oh,
family was
wow.
outside, cousins and stuff, and everybody was looking. They was like, "Oh my God!" He grabbed her hand. He said, "Don't ever do that again." And she was like, "I don't care what you said." She started screaming, y'all, and just started going off, hitting him and stuff. He had to drag her in the house. And we came in with it. We was like, "Wait a minute, what's wrong with you?" Because nothing like that had ever happened in our family. And she was like, "He think he finna go somewhere." And so my mom was like, "You need to calm down." And she told my brother, come in the room with her. And the girl
Mhm.
gonna sit there at the door and start beating on the door to myself, "Let him out, let him out." It's like, okay, she don't know what family she in, apparently. And
Oh,
so
wow.
she came, he came on out, he was like, "You need to calm down." And so do you know, she sat there and she started swinging on him again, and he had to
Mhm.
actually hold her down to the ground and keep telling her, calm down, what's wrong?" And I was like, where did he meet this crazy at? At the time we didn't know that, she's being abused, her mom was being abused and stuff. But
Mhm.
she just kept on doing it. It wasn't just one time. Everybody on the block had started talking about it, because every time he went out, she would do it. And one day he had to jump in the car while I was still moving to get, to go with his to the band. And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, no, 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 it's time to get rid of her." And my cousin was like, "Do you want me to beat her down?" Because I had a cousin like that. Now he wasn't
Mhm.
he wasn't
Mhm.
one of the men that ain't gonna hit women. And my brother was like, "She just needs to calm down." But I was like, you know what? They eventually they went on a divorce, and I was like, it's something wrong with her. So with that saying that, I want to know, I have a son. So I've seen several, like my friends, they have daughters and stuff. And,
hmm.
Oh,
they'll be playing with my son and stuff. And one day, one of his daughters just reached up and slapped my son. My son was like, "Okay, I don't even play that kind of way." And he grabbed her arm. And I was like, and my friend was there too. And she was like, "Wait a minute, don't ever grab my daughter's arm like that." He was like, "Don't have your daughter smack me." And I told her, I said, "You know what? You're gonna have to teach your daughter not to hit me." And I don't even know what crazy woman gonna jump up and hit no man anyway. I said,
Yeah.
but
Mm-mm.
apparently you know that he's much stronger than her. I said, I told him don't hit women, but women should not be hitting men either. And so
exactly.
right, and so she was like, "Well, you need to teach him not." No, no, he's taught very well not to hit women, but he ain't gonna get abused either. And
No.
so I was like,
Exactly.
she was like, well then I told him, I said, if you ever get in that situation, you are to grab that woman's arms and try to calm her down. If you can't calm her down, get out that door and get away from her. And
Yep.
so I
Exactly.
was like, I don't know. I don't know. And still my son to this day, he ain't had no more altercations like that. But I mean, what would you tell your son? Because I'm not gonna get my child beat on either.
Yeah.
Well, everyone just needs to know in a relationship, just keep your hands to yourself.
Yep.
You can hold a conversation without being aggressive. You can hold a conversation without fighting, because once a lick is passed, it could go sour.
Yep.
Once a lick is, I've known people who once a lick passed, somebody go out of intimidation and grab a gun,
Mm.
and
Ooh.
gun accidentally goes off and somebody is dead. So there's
Yep.
the wife is dead and the husband gone to prison, or the husband's dead and the wife is gone to prison. And so it's just keep your hands to yourself. And what you just need to do, just teach your son, keep your hands to yourself. And I know he just graduated from college, so he's a little
Right.
adult. Keep your hands to yourself. And if he's in a relationship and he sees that it's going to be something that is going to be fighting and domestic violence, maybe he should just rethink not even being a part of that, because that that's unhealthy. Fighting
Yep.
is very unhealthy in a relationship.
Mm.
Yep. That is true. Do y'all notice what I'm noticing though is in the social media? What all these women, okay, since the movement, I know with women feminists and all this stuff, I
Mm.
have seen so many people, men that's jumping on women, and they did, everybody is like, oh okay, well then um now it's okay, and they just keep walking. I heard so many instances that women is getting beat on by men, and then people just walking past them or something. Well then she shouldn't have said nothing, she shouldn't have talked, she shouldn't have did this. And I was like, what? And people, men not even stopping other men
Oh
from beating on
wow.
women in
Now you know
public.
something. If I let's just say if I was in a shopping center one day or in a parking lot and I saw a case where somebody was fighting,
Mm.
I'm not gonna go up direct and be like, stop, because I'm not the police, but I will
Right.
call the authorities to say, hey, this is a situation going on. I think a police is needed, because I would never want, to know that I could have helped that situation out in it, and
Exactly.
someone end up losing their life, in it. So no, I wouldn't jump in the situation, but I will make sure the authorities is called to come and de-escalate the situation.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Me
I've
too.
seen fights on social media where people have stood around recording couples fighting, and I've even seen it on social media where let's just say for example, you said that uh your sister-in-law was beating up on your brother. I've
Yep.
seen situations on social media where the man was at his family's house and he was beating on the wife and he was getting the
Okay.
best of her. But then when the wife began to get the best of him, family members began to jump in. Oh, you're not gonna hit my brother. I'm like, what? You
Oh,
know,
wow.
that's very sickening. You didn't say anything when he was jumping on her, but now she's getting the best of him. Everyone want to jump in to say, you're not gonna hit my brother. That's just totally
Yep.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. That
A-
is. Yep.
Absolutely. And I feel like honestly, now with the whole social media recording people thing, I feel like if especially if the person is like severely hurt or even killed and you sat up there and videotaped it, I feel like you should be charged because you didn't even try to help.
Yep.
You sat there and just witnessed it and you're not gonna help or call the police. Or my first inclination is to get my phone and call the police, not record it.
Yep.
Like you
Yep.
know this person is being beat down in this parking lot. I don't care if it's two men fighting, two women fighting. I don't care. That's not. I'm not trying to sit there and watch that because that's when guns go to flailing and bullets don't know no names. So I
Yep.
definitely am the one that's gonna call and be like, look, this is what's happening. And I would make sure I'm in a safe space because I'm like, like I said, bullets don't know no names. And Felicia made a comment that she said, I'm listening, and this can never be me. I'm one who kicks who kicks it up in the relationship. Yeah, I can admit that. And then she said she's not an abuser, but if it gets there, she can handle herself. It's a Jersey thing. Yeah, I
She
I
says a Jersey thing.
And
I
welcome in Felicia Hall to Coffee and Donuts.
I totally understand that. Because I can protect myself, and I dang sure can protect my kids. So
Mhm.
Right.
my husband was not an abuser at all. He was a big old teddy bear, but at the end of the day, I know that if I had to protect myself, I'm going to protect myself and my kids. There's no way, you know, even
Mm.
with our kids is so different from when I was a kid. With our kids, they got spankings, but it was so far and few in between because we just didn't spank them all the time. And my kids now today, they laugh because they say the same thing I said. When I was a kid, I got spankings, but I earned them.
Okay.
I was and I didn't do the same thing twice. I wasn't that kid. It was like, oh, I got a spanker for that, but I'm gonna do it again. Nope. I was the one that was
Say.
okay. We don't do that because this will happen. So I was like, they were the same way, and so they didn't see domestic violence in the house. They haven't seen
Right.
in the streets. One of my sister-in-laws has had some issues, but this woman will knock your head off. Okay, she don't play the radio.
Mm.
It was always a always a back and forth kind of situation, and I was so happy when they got a divorce because I was like, y'all are just crazy,
Hey.
Oh, wow.
because they would be fighting one minute, laughing the next minute, and I'm like, okay, seriously, y'all are so bipolar. I can't deal with this. I can't.
See? Yep.
I can't. And at one point, she called my husband and was like, "Oh, we've been fighting over here. Da, da, da. You need to come get him." And he would be like, "What did y'all do?" Because he wouldn't even say did he do, or what did
Uh-uh.
he say what? And she was like, "I hit him in the head with a iron," and I was
Oh,
Jesus,
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
and he was like,
Lord.
can y'all please cut this out? Y'all got kids in the house. And he would just be like, I'm not coming around there. Call the police. I'm not coming around there. And it
Oh,
used
wow.
to so
Wow.
funny because she would be like, you're not even trying to protect me. He was like, how many times I'm come around there and you talking about he hitting you and I come around there and his eye black and yours not.
Wow.
You know something? We're gonna welcome Coco into the building. Good morning, Coco. I have a
Morning.
question about that, Fisher Jania.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say that children when they're smaller, we're
Yeah.
gonna especially young, young boys, they
Mm,
grow up seeing their father beating on their mother.
yeah.
So they've
Mm-hmm.
always been told, don't say anything when mom and dad argue, go into the room and close the door. So when those young men become around, let's say 16, 17, 18 years old, and they get to the point where now they have seen daddy do this all of these years and
Mm.
they're tired of it. And they're to that age now where they feel like they got to protect mom. Is it, is it disrespectful if that son intervenes and start to fight their dad because they have watched this over the years that they watched their mom be beaten, so now they're to that adult age where they're like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. So is that disrespectful, or what should happen in that situation?
I don't think it's disrespectful. It depends on how they approach it, but I definitely would for me, I know that if it was me, I would intervene too because I'd be like, look, I don't want you getting in trouble or hurting yourself, you know, getting in the middle of this nonsense. But honestly, I don't feel like it's disrespectful. The thing that makes me sad is when I've seen situations when the son or daughter does step up and the mother gets abusive to them. Like,
What?
yeah, she's like, stay out of my business, or, get all crazy about it. And they sitting there trying to defend you. So it's a lot of craziness out there, and I don't feel like it's disrespectful. I definitely, as a kid, I would have removed myself. Like, look, I got to go to grandma's house. I got to go somewhere because I can't live here with this nonsense. No.
Okay. I
And
know if
off,
I would have seen that happen to my mama, oh
yeah,
no, I'd have jumped. I'd have jumped.
yeah, definitely,
See?
definitely.
Yeah.
And definitely, I'm so happy that my son is the way he is. When he was in elementary school in pre-K, as a matter of fact, he was 4 years old, and there was this little baby. She came in and she was taller and bigger than all the rest of the kids. She was only 4 years old. She was so much
Oh.
than everybody. And I knew she felt insecure at 4. I knew it. So I told my son, I said, let me tell you something. You do not make fun of this little girl. You make friends with her. You be nice to her. He was so protective of this girl because they were all the same age. And even though he was shorter than her, he still would not let people pick on her and all of this stuff. They were friends all the way through fifth grade. And
Oh.
I was just like so happy that we taught him early on, don't make fun of people who are different from you. You know, always be the protector, always be super meek and and gentle with people who are different from you. And he's still like that today. He's such a sweetheart. He will protect everybody and anybody. He does not care. He's just a sweet soul. Now my daughter on the other hand, she's a spitfire. She'll probably
She is. You can tell. Yep. Oh my God. You can
She
certainly tell.
ready.
You okay?
Okay, let
yeah.
me go back to some
Sure
of the
is.
comments. The table said we
Okay.
missed some comments. Let
Uh
me go back and read some of the comments. Felicia Hall, wait, I'm not the abuser, but if it get there, I can handle me. Okay, we read that. Miss Doll, the first time a woman or man hits you, put something on them right then. Don't think about it. Now, church folks
Oh.
judge me if you want. Don't put your hands on me. Say what you want. Don't touch me. Coco came into the building. Felicia Hall, yes, I teach my grandsons to protect themselves. These little girls now try to fight these little boys. And yes, I teach mine to hit back. Sorry, but if they hit, they can get hit. Period. That's right. I do agree with that. If you
Yeah.
can hit, you can get hit back. Keeping up with the Griffins came into the building. Um, Good morning, Felicia Hall. We as females know that men can hurt us, but we can hurt them too if we hit them the right way. When it becomes physical, yeah, leave. But if it's a random thing, then any means necessary.
Mm.
I think I
Okay.
caught up with everything. So yeah, I feel the same way. If you can hit, you can take a lick. I feel
Yeah.
the same way.
I definitely believe that you should protect yourself. I don't think I would escalate the situation, but I'm definitely gonna protect myself and my kids. Um
Yep.
get away as quickly as I can. I also had a friend that went through this. I was still in high school. She was just out of high school and she was pregnant. And my this girl was like 6 foot tall and the man was shorter than her. And I used to get so angry because I'm like, do you understand that how much bigger you are than him? Knock his stuff down and get away from him. Like,
Oh.
I was like, get out of this situation. And when she was pregnant, I said to this man straight up, you put your hands on her while she pregnant. It's gonna be me and you.
See?
And
Yep.
you know something,
Wow.
I have seen men who will get home, in a situation like that and will be the biggest bulldog, mean and all just getting out with their wife or their girlfriend. And in the public, they are scary, will
Yeah,
not touch a fly,
yeah,
but when
Wow.
they get home, they talk, they walk tall. And I just don't even care for people like that. They're just
No.
okay. You get home and you'll beat on your partner, but um, if at a grocery store, you'll literally let a child run over you, and you say nothing.
Mm. 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 Mm.
absolutely. It definitely goes back. I feel like a lot of abusers go back to childhood issues and childhood trauma, and they just want to beat on somebody because somebody beat on them, and it's really really scary how people are so angry and pent up, and then you have the opposite people who decide to be serial killers because their mama, abused them or their dad
Mm.
abused them, and you see them murdering people that
Uh-huh.
look like that person,
Uh-huh.
and that's scary.
Mhm.
So it's so important to instill in your kids from day one to not be abusers or be abused, and allow this stuff to happen,
Oh
because
yeah. Oh yeah.
and the main thing that makes me sad is to see these women who are trapped in a situation, for example, not having a job.
Mhm.
You're a stay-at-home wife. He controls all the money, he controls the cars, he controls everything, and you feel trapped,
Of
and you
Yeah.
course.
like you can't get out of the situation. And that's one of the scariest things, and that's why in when I did hair and talking to women, I was always telling them, it's okay to have joint accounts and stuff like that, but also
Yeah.
have your own. also
Exactly.
also have that money where it's like, even if you're not working, you always have a stash that you get away,
Yeah.
because
You know,
Exactly.
that is so true, and especially if that lady have like small children, and
yeah.
like you said, the man is the bread maker. She's at home.
Mhm.
He control everything. She feel trapped. She feel like there's no hope. She feels like she's by herself. Have you all ever watched a movie on Lifetime? It's called The Burning Bed. Where the lady, she set her husband on fire. She was in a domestic violence situation, and
Yeah.
I think then his parents live like next door to them.
It was
And
something. Yeah.
yeah, but the parents always took up for him. It was like, when he would do the beating, it was fine. But if she tried to do anything, then it was they they could see what she was doing, but they never could see what he was doing. But eventually, I think she made it went to prison for it. But like I said, she got the short end of the stick because at the end she was the one getting bruised, but
Mm.
she ended up burning him. Even when she tried to go to school, she was trying to get out of the situation, and she was trying to go to school, and he burned her books, and just he was just really really mean to her.
Yeah, and that's that controlling factor. It's just
Hmm.
really crazy how people get in those situations. And I I pray every day that my kids' minds stay strong, that they don't get manipulated by situations like that, because that's absolutely insane. There's no way. And if I see any signs of abuse, I'm stepping in and I'm getting my kids out of that situation, because I don't want my grandkids to be going through nothing like that. I don't want my kids to go through anything like that. So, no, you got to teach your kids from young, definitely.
Oh
Um,
yes, oh
You
yes.
You know what? A lot of that also starts when like if when women or whatever, when women, I'm gonna do women point of view. When women get in like these new relationships and they ain't like a really strong cattle woman, and
mhm.
then what it is, those the abusive men, they first thing they do is get them to themselves. Okay, don't answer the phone. Stop answering the phone for your sisters and your friends and stuff
I,
like that because they got to take over their mind first of all. So when
isolate.
they start getting that
Mentally.
control,
Hmm.
and so when they first start getting that control, they isolate them, right? They isolate them by themselves so that they think that this is the only person that can help me. And so once you get somebody's mind, it's very easy to control them, from that moment on. And
Mhm.
so that's how I've seen. I got friends that I've seen. That's how they got them out the relationship. And so I'm like, um, if you have, I don't know, you have to deprogram them or whatever. But I know women can always, you can like, I guess, go to a shelter or something. But then you don't want to go to a shelter. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mhm.
a real messed up situation, especially if you got kids involved in it. So
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I probably would feel so bad if I had to take my kid, but you don't want to stay in that because you're getting abused. You don't want to end up
Mhm.
dying from it.
Exactly.
So
We got some people that's just joining, evolving with Etta. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Donuts, the Praying Couple series. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Donuts. Keisha Monet, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Donuts. Today's title is Keep Your Hands to Yourself, Domestic Violence. And we have Carol the Girl Manager and Official Jamia on the panel. And you know something else, Carol the Girl Manager?
what?
Uh, a lot of times I hear people tell people to get out of a situation, get out of the domestic violence situation. But when you tell your friend or your family member to leave, have a plan for them. Just don't
Yeah,
tell them to pack up and leave, and then you hang up from them and they're trying to pack up and leave and they get hurt because the abuser is not going to let them leave like that. I've known people that had to move when the abuser went to work. You know, when the abuser got
wow,
home, the house was packed up, gone, and they was in a whole different other town. So when we tell people to leave, make sure we have a plan to help them, because sometimes
exactly,
leaving can get them seriously hurt trying to leave anyway.
exactly. That is true. Yep. I know. You know what? I used to work at the substance abuse. I used to work at a substance abuse facility, and like 80% of them women were abused and stuff. So we always had to have a plan then. Even when kids come up in school and they see their parents getting as a teacher, as
Mhm.
a retired teacher, I'm a retired teacher. If
Okay.
our kids came to us and said about, I mean, let me just tell y'all, 90% of what goes on in your house, I know what's going on as a teacher.
Exactly. I taught school for
And
7 years. They're going to tell it. The
see,
kids going to tell it.
exactly. So ain't no secrets. We just tell them babies, okay, okay, okay. Let's not talk about that. But
Exactly.
we know if abuse is going on in your house. And so when a teacher, we had to step in, then that's really bad. But anyway, but we tell kids, kids be really, really scared in them situations. And so then when you have to start bringing other people into that, and always, especially with women, I know women are very, whoever's getting abused is embarrassed.
Yeah.
Point blank that
Oh,
that
yes.
you're letting somebody do this to you.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to speak up anyway. But when you have children involved with it too, and the children are scared and stuff, and then you have to take, yeah, I done been through so many situations like that. And but you always have to tell children, give children like a safe person to talk to or whatever before they're gonna have somebody else step in about that situation. I just don't even like to think about that situation. But I mean, if you getting abused, then you can go to the emergency room and let somebody know. You can go to police place and let somebody know. Or if you let your family know. But I think that it's like I said, so much embarrassment. You don't want to tell your family that is going on
Mm-hmm.
and be considered stupid or not. But if you get abused, please let somebody know, even if you can have like a code word with your kids. If this is going on, here's a code word that you can say, what's going on or whatever.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
long as it depends on if the house is dysfunctional. If the house is totally dysfunctional, I don't even know if your code work will work with that. So
You know
we'll see.
something?
Yeah.
And now, as far as code words, me and my family, we have like different code words, and we've never had to use them, but we have different code words in place. And so, if somebody called, or I called, or Miss Tabor called, my mom called, we have little words in place to know, hey, we in trouble. Come help us. Not necessarily with domestic violence. We could be at a store. We could be just in a situation where, hey, and if we say those codes, okay, we coming. We
Okay.
just have always established that, in our family, just measures of just being safe, at all the time. And another thing is, I remember the situation in our local school district where this lady, she had a boyfriend, but the boyfriend and her had separated. So
Okay.
that Friday, it was on a Friday evening, he showed up at her home, basically held her
Oh,
hostage the whole weekend. And so
what?
I don't think I don't know if he knew he was holding her hostage or something to connect, but anyway, he allowed the kids to go to school that Monday morning. And the
Okay.
mom played smart, y'all. She got those babies ready for school. When she got them ready for school, she handed her daughter a note. She said, "Give this
Okay.
to your teacher." And she was like, "Whatever you do, give this to your teacher as soon as you get to school." And the little girl, as soon as she got to school, she handed it to her teacher. On there, the mom was telling the teacher she's being held hostage since Friday. She needs help. The teacher
Wow.
called, took the, got the principal involved, and within 15 minutes, authorities was at this apartment complex, and they got the man, y'all. And I mean, he had been holding this lady hostage since that Friday.
Mm.
It was a domestic violence situation where she was afraid of him. And I'm like, well, did he really think he was holding her hostage? Because, if you let somebody go, somebody gonna tell, what's going on.
Yep.
And so
Exactly.
that's how she was able to get out of it.
Wow. Oh my God. Ain't that so sad?
It is. It is.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
we as citizens, we have to watch out for things like that. Good citizens. We have to. TSV Nation is in the building. Good morning. We have to watch out for things like that. We have to be watchful. If we see things that don't look right, it's okay. You ain't got to walk up to the situation, but it's okay to call somebody and say, "Hey, this just doesn't look right.
Right.
This just
Yep.
don't feel right. What I'm looking at. Can
That
somebody go? If you see a lady or with a man and she's trying to get your attention, it could be something going on. Just don't write it off as, oh well, just try to get somebody to look into it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Lexus, you want to read some of the comments? Miss Dahl said some things, and Felicia as well. I got a frog in my throat. I'm gonna let you.
Okay, let me see. Can I go back up to them? Okay, Ms. Dodd said the best time to leave is when they are not there. That's true. Like I said, I know people that have came home and the whole house was moved out. They was gone. That's the best time to leave.
wow.
But then something you have, and I've also known people that have called, the man at work and like, hey, you need to go home. There's a U-Haul at your house. People are moving out. I mean,
What?
yes, all kind of crazy situations. Felicia Hall says, "See my granddaughter picture right here. My son just posted. If you don't do anything wrong to her, I'll be the last face you'll see before you see your maker." Okay.
Oh.
TNV Nation
Oh.
said, "Good morning." Felicia Hall, wait, I'm hoping I'm not being too brutal, honest on here. I hear the panel and
No,
feel
you're not.
I'm too rough. Felicia, do you want to join the panel?
Speak
To,
your
to
truth, Felicia.
come to the panel, keeping up with the Griffins, and they're speaking. I think I've caught up with all the comments.
Felicia, hit the link if you would like to join the panel. And you speak your truth. There's no judgment.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, exactly.
No judgment here at all. Tangy,
Let
can
me
you
see.
drop the link again?
Drop the link. Yeah, because it's okay. She just dropped it. If anyone want to join the panel is open.
Shawanda Williams, I need more coffee. My throat is doing some things over here.
Yeah, it's time for her to serve up some more coffee and donuts.
You ain't kidding. Oh my
Praying couple
God.
is speaking. Let's see. I have a question for the praying couple. I don't know if she want to come up or not. They're always out in the community giving back. Have you all ever had an encounter with like someone that was involved in domestic violence and came to you all for help? If you want to come up, Miss Bling, to the panel.
Definitely.
Domestic violence ain't no joke. I mean, it's just too much. My God.
Exactly, it is. It is, and it shouldn't be a part
You
of a
know,
relationship.
right. Whenever I go into a new relationship, the first thing I tell whatever guy with, I always tell them, I said, the first time you ever put your hands on me, that relationship is over. It doesn't make any difference. And so I ain't never been in that, but yeah, no, I can't do it. Oh, we got a guest.
Oh, we got a guest, so yeah.
Hello, 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 hello. I've
Hello.
been, I've been, I just ran across you guys' channel maybe a week ago, or two
Oh,
weeks ago, and I just been listening. Um, and I got something to say about domestic violence.
okay.
Domestic violence is not a joke. Um, I was in a relationship with this woman. Um, she was well. First, it started off with the verbal.
Mm-hmm.
She would she would call me names, put me down, saying disrespectful types of things, and she would bring up other guys' name to me, like
Wow.
this other guys specifically that had way more money than I did
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And I tried to explain to her, well, listen, I got this going on, I got that going on. She wasn't trying to hear it. So at a point, I broke up with her
Good.
because I got tired of the whole um the verbal abuse,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mhm.
she was very lethal with her mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and she would call me like the P word. I'm not gonna say it on here, but she would call
Good.
me like the P word.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, I thought that that was my name. And she
Oh
would
my
just
God.
call me, yeah, she would call me just to start arguments on purpose. And
Wow.
that's because she was going through things in her own life. And so she would take what she was going through out on me. And I
Mm.
tried to help her. I tried to help this woman so much, but it got to a point to where I couldn't take it anymore. So I left.
Very good. I'm so glad you did.
I
Yes,
left. I left her about 8 years ago
that's good.
Okay.
now, and I don't talk to her. We don't speak. Um, Another thing I would like to bring up: my grandmother passed away at 91, and she reached back out to me, trying to talk to me, but something told me don't talk to her because,
That's
like I
right.
said, her mouth is very lethal. But
Okay.
some said Raphael, give her a chance. So I
Mm.
gave her a chance. I talked to her, and she was like, "Hey, I'm sorry for your grandmother passing away," because she knew who my grandmother was.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, I said, "I appreciate that, thank you." And then we started talking
Mm.
again. Worst
Okay.
mistake, worst
Oh,
Oh.
mistake I ever made.
oh no.
Well, and she was a narcissist
Oh, there you
too.
go. There you go. Yep.
She was a she was a narcissist, and I'm learning now from Harrio Over the Top. That's his
Mm.
YouTube channel. I'm learning why she was doing that and what narcissism, what that had to do with, and I'm learning that it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was her.
Yeah.
So, ma- so, and another thing, she, but I say all that to say this. She was like, me and her was talking,
Uh-huh.
and she said something, and she was like, the only reason why I'm talking to you is because your grandmother died, and
Mm.
I got so mad.
Mm, see,
You definitely have to keep out of that situation because
Oh
she's
yeah. Oh yeah.
very like a manipulator and a controlling person. So I'm
Yeah.
step
Yeah.
away from that and definitely don't answer her call. Matter of fact, block her number.
Yeah, yeah. And the best thing you should have did was when she sent her condolences to you, you should have just said thank you and just
Mhm.
left it at there. Left it there. You know, left it
I'm
there.
so glad you did that. How are you doing now? You okay?
I think he made a drop from the panel.
Are you still
I'm not sure. I think he made a drop from the panel,
okay?
but
Okay.
it is now 6:57. Oh, he did. And I gotta
Okay.
go, y'all. Today is my first
Okay.
day back at work after being on sick leave. And so we've had a
Okay.
good discussion this morning. Keep your hands to yourself, domestic violence. Maybe this may be a topic that we could do a part two on because it's very interesting.
Definitely.
But let's see who made the last comment. You know how Miss Tabor does it. Let's see.
Mhm.
The praying couple said real busy this morning. Everyone have a blessed day. So we're gonna leave it just like that. You all have a good day.
Okay.
You all be blessed till in the morning. See you over on coffee and donuts. Remember, Miss Tabor said hit the button to join. Thank y'all. See y'all in the morning.
Okay. Bye bye.
Right. Bye bye, everyone.